Hi, everybody. It's Coach Deanna here. Gotta tell you, I was a little off schedule my own self this morning because now I have to remember we're doing fundamentals now. So I hope you have enjoyed Coaching Week so far. There's still more to come. Just as a recap, I've been sharing some of the behind the scenes of how I use Kajabi to set up this particular pre-launch content. I've also been doing a daily fundamentals, which is what this broadcast is all about today, where for some of you who are more new to Kajabi or evaluating Kajabi, I'm giving you an overview of all of the different aspects of what Kajabi can and can't do. So I hope you have been enjoying this again. And if you're watching on the replay and you have any questions, if you're not watching live, go ahead and ask because I am monitoring in our group to see what questions there are. And so today, or I should say this morning, let me back up. We've also had an experience that I shared, which is a Q&A call, one of the Q&A calls that we do every week in the Kajabi Flight Crew Club membership. We're doing another one this afternoon. So every week, most weeks, because we also have our co-working sessions, most weeks there are 2 calls a week. Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific and Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific. And this afternoon, you again are all invited to join. You can either watch here in the Facebook group or you can join us on Zoom to participate. And we'll see if our members come and have more, questions that could be questions that you already have had. And that's an opportunity for us to talk, strategize, screen share, answer questions. It's a really great opportunity. So that is this afternoon at 1 p.m. Pacific. Today is going to be, I think, what is probably one of the most popular, but one of the most misunderstood features in Kajabi, and that is pipelines. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing. Wrong window, Deanna. There we go. Alrighty. Quick recap. We so far have gone over websites, which includes the website builder and landing pages, navigation in your blog. We have gone over products, how to set up a product, how to choose a product theme. We also then went over offers as far as how then do you price and establish the price for your products. And now we've been working on marketing. And yesterday we talked all about email campaigns as well as events because they're closely related because of the idea of creating email sequences. So today we're going to talk about pipelines, and I'll probably go ahead and include forms. I honestly don't remember if I covered forms when we talked about landing pages, but I think it bears repeating. So we're going to talk about forms as it pertains to pipelines. So if I click on pipelines, the first thing you may wonder is, what is it? All right. So in marketing, there is I don't even want to say how long this idea has been around, but we have the concept of a funnel. And the funnel is the process from finding your hopefully ideal customer and taking them on a journey. So that simply means moving a prospective customer one step closer to becoming an actual customer. There are different types of funnels based on what your goal is. Now, it's very often that that people just assume I'm going to create a product, I'm going to put it out there for sale, and people are going to flock to my door and throw money at me. I wish it worked that way. Maybe there are unicorns out there where this happens. But especially if you're starting out and you haven't built up an audience, a pool of prospective ideal customers out there, it's not going to be that easy. So you can have different kinds of funnels based on your objective. On Monday, I shared with you a training on how I create a funnel, a lead generation funnel. And I showed as an example how I set this up to have people register for this coaching week. And I did not use a pipeline. So let me back up again. Pipeline is Kajabi's term for giving you pre-built templates for different kinds of funnels. So in pipelines, there is what they call a freebie pipeline. And the freebie pipeline is the intention, or has the goal of getting people to sign up on your email list, whether you are delivering a lead magnet, also called freebie, also called list builder. There's different terms for it. But giving them some free resource or tool or information. In this situation, my opt-in was for an event. So it's wherever you're capturing somebody's email address. Now, as I explained in that training, that funnel, I'll call it a funnel because I didn't use a pipeline, is pretty basic. It's a landing page with a form, with a thank you, and an email sequence. So there's not a lot of moving parts to it. On the basic plan in Kajabi, you're limited to creating 3 pipelines. So I really discourage people from using up a pipeline for something that's relatively simple to create. And that's because, yes, you can delete a pipeline later if you need to make space for another pipeline, but it's kind of a waste of a pipeline where it might be more important for you to have all of the elements of that funnel available to you. And I'm going to show you that. These are some examples of pipelines that I've created in my demo site here. So I'm going to show you this one. And this one is very popular. Those of you who have followed online marketing for a while, you may be familiar with Jeff Walker, who is considered to be the father of the live video launch style. He's written a book. Actually, the book has been recently updated, which is really great. And the book is called Launch. I should have had it here so I could show you. And he outlines this whole strategy. But the goal with product launch is you create a series of videos that are training videos that lead up to making an offer to somebody. So Kajabi did create a pre-built funnel using that strategy. So if I click on product launch, I'm just going to show you all of the things that are, you know what, let's create one from scratch because I think it's makes the point a little better. Okay. So when you want a new pipeline, you click on the blue button with the plus sign. And here's where you can see all the different options. Now, I was talking about freebies, opt-ins, lead magnets. That's this one. I'll click on it because it shows you the 3 elements it will automatically create for you. And this is where I'm saying you can just do this yourself and don't waste a pipeline. It's very simple. There's not too many moving parts here, and it's easy to connect them yourselves. So we avoid that one. There is a sales page. Now, this one gets a little more involved. There is an opt-in. It generates 8 emails as a sequence, and each one of these elements has dummy text on it. So it's kind of a mock-up. It's not any text you really want to use, but it kind of gives you a starting point. It will generate an 8 email sequence. It takes them to a sales page and to a checkout. This one I don't like. The reason why I don't like it, it's extremely rare that you're just going to get people opted in and you're going to send them 8 emails and they're going to go to the sales page and buy, unless there has been some other kind of buildup, right? I never use that one. Product launch is the one I am going to show you. There's also a Zoom webinar, a free book as a lead magnet pipeline, and a coaching campaign. And I have got a bunch of old stuff in here because I have been a member of Kajabi from the very beginning. So I got all kinds of stuff. Yours is not going to look like this. But we're going to talk about product launch. And the first thing I'm going to address, because I got to tell you, I used Kajabi for maybe 2 years and I never knew what OVO stood for. Because you see here, it's a product launch OVO pipeline. And what it stands for is O is for opt-in, V is for value. And again, that means you're giving them something. You're training. You're giving free training. You're giving information that's important. And then the O, final O, is offer. So the idea is you get people to opt in to consume some valuable content from you, and then you offer them something to buy. That's what OVO stands for. So in this product launch blueprint, you can see that there's a 1 minute and 32 second video where I think it's Kenny. Yep, Kenny, the CEO of Kajabi, CEO and founder, talks about this pipeline. Now, again, on any funnel, you don't need to use a pipeline. If, however, you have a pipeline that has a lot of these different elements, because here now you see there's an opt-in, there's a 10 email sequence, which, by the way, you don't have to use all of them. And there are 3 landing pages, 1 each with the value, in this case, a video, and leads them to a checkout. Now, I have a little problem with this pipeline because it skips one important step, in my opinion, and that's a sales page. I don't get that. I typically would put a sales page before the checkout, but maybe that's just me. So if I wanted to use this pipeline, I click that blue button. It says, what's the name of it? And we could call it my pipeline. Too early for me to think, folks. Sorry. And then you can choose the offer you want to sell. Now, the reason why it asks for the offer is because remember that last step was your checkout page. It's then going to pull up the checkout page for that offer. So I'm going to choose my little example here of a little course called Kitchen from Scratch. And you click Create Pipeline. I am sorry, guys, because I forgot to check. Make sure you're seeing and hearing me. Yep, I'm live. Okay. Now you can see it takes a little bit of time, but you can see step by step it tells you what it's creating, because again, it's generating all the templates for each step in this particular pipeline. And there we go. So this is the value of a pipeline. You can see all the elements laid out in order right here. It also creates a checklist. So you could go through and, it says there's 4 steps left. Create your opt-in, create your value 1 video page, 2, 3. Once again, that's a little simplistic. Truthfully, I never use this. I never use that because I can see what I've done right here. Now, the good thing is you don't have to go anywhere. Remember, all the landing pages are normally under pages, but I don't have to go out of here and go to pages to edit. I just click on it. So I want to create my opt-in. Now, if you watched my first video, I let you know that my normal process is to map all this out and work backwards. But I'm just going in order so you can just see the flow of it. And then again, I would work backwards from it. So let's just look at each thing. This is the opt-in page. So this is where you're going to convince somebody that they want to sign up. In this situation, I always tell my members, this is a really good pipeline to use if you're going to do a 5-day challenge where you're delivering recorded content, not live. You could do a pipeline for a live launch style, but this isn't, unless you're going to use YouTube Live, this is not the pipeline to use. But this is if it was going to be recorded content. You let them know the value, what they're going to accomplish or learn, achieve by watching this content. And you see here, it created a little dummy form for you. So if you remember from the first pipeline, the first training this week, your form is what controls everything. If I click there, it opens up my forms. It doesn't open up that form, which is kind of annoying. But that is my form. And this is, again, where you're going to set up what's going to happen after they submit the form. Now, because we used a pipeline, it's immediately going to subscribe them to that email sequence that is the template that it just generated for us. So you just need to know that it does generate and create a form for you. But if you want something else to happen, you want to go to a specific thank you page, because this particular pipeline, once they opt in, it's going to send them to the next pipeline step, which in this situation is the first video page. Maybe you want that, maybe you don't. Maybe you want to stick a thank you page in there first. It's kind of up to you, but the default is after they submit the form from this page, they're going to go straight to the first video. If you're doing some kind of evergreen training, that might be the thing to do. Now, again, then you could edit this, and you've got the area down here to give the message, again, reinforcing why someone should sign up. Now, if we click on the next one, I didn't change anything, so I'm not going to save it. Remember from yesterday, I talked about email sequences. Using this pipeline, Kajabi will automatically generate, in this case, 10 emails as an email sequence based on somebody submitting this form. Now, there is placeholder text, and it's kind of handy because it prompts you what kind of content you should write here. So for example, the first email, it says the goal should be to create relatedness and tease the number one thing they need to learn to succeed in your topic area. And then they give you, again, more placeholder text that you can use or not use. So each one of these emails are created in the sequence, and you can see the first one goes out immediately after they sign up. This one goes out 2 days later. So always remember, actually, let me think. 0, 1, 2. Third day. This is confusing. The day they sign up is day 0, which means day 2 is 2 days later, which means it's actually 3 days. Well, 2 more days. Now I'm getting myself confused. Okay. So each one of these emails that are created are also going to direct them to the next video. Because remember, now we've got 1 video, 2 videos, 3 videos. So each one of those initial emails is going to introduce them to the next step, the next video. And after we get to value 3, it's going to officially open the cart or make your product available for purchase. Then all of these follow-up emails are the launch emails. So they're your sales sequence, and it's taking them through all the reasons they need to buy and the fact that this offer is going to be closed as of a certain date. So that's why there's a 72-hour reminder. The cart closes in 72 hours, 48 hours, 24, etc. Now, if you remember yesterday when we talked about sequences, and I mentioned that when you're doing a sales sequence, you do want to unsubscribe somebody that ends up buying the product. Because if they buy the product on the first day, you don't want to be sending them 5 more emails. It's just going to kind of piss them off, really. So you always have an unsubscribe trigger, which means once they buy the product, don't send them any more emails. And you can do that all here. I'm just going to go over this so you can see the 3 pages that it creates for your 3 videos. This is kind of a pet peeve of mine. If you look at most launches like this, and in recent past, and even if somebody does a live launch, they often create a recap page like this. Is James Wedmore typically does recorded. He would do this kind of a funnel, and it was all recorded. This recent time, he actually did it live, which was really great. And I think it was the most successful launch he said he's ever had. Brandon Lucero, I went through his training. His recap page looked more like this. So if you look over on the right-hand side, it's just like any of our pages. You can see here we've got sections, and inside our sections, we have blocks. I typically like to move this custom section over to the top. Because 1, it lets people know there's more to come. And 2, it also I just think it looks better. And then this is your main window for your first video. And then you have, what I love about this pipeline is under the video, under the custom. Under this multi-video launch, there is an option where you can say, is this an active window? Meaning this video has already been released. So if somebody wants to go back and see it, they click there. So it can show that it's active, clickable, or locked. So what Locked does is it puts an overlay on videos that have not been released yet with a little padlock. So it lets people know, it inspires curiosity, because it's like, oh, there's 2 more videos to come and I can't see them right now. So I don't know. That's just kind of my little favorite, already pre-done thing for us. So each one of these, let's save that. So you send them to video 1. A couple days later, you send them to video 2, and this is video 2. I would do the same thing. I put the video grid on top. That's just my little thing. And then here is the third and final video. Now, Kajabi's pipeline here then has the option of a call to action. This call to action button, the assumption is that video 3 is when you open the cart and you say, if you'd like to go further, if you'd like to learn more, I invite you to join my program, blah, blah, blah. And then this is a button that shows where somebody clicks. Now, this is where I think this pipeline falls short. The next step is the checkout. In this case was the little kitchen from scratch example that I had. I honestly would put a sales page in between. I would not assume that they're ready to buy. I think pretty much most marketers, let me say most marketers that I know, rarely send them directly to a checkout. There is always a sales page because people still have questions. You may not have covered all the questions that people have. Some people are researchers and they like to read, and they're going to go really in depth with understanding what it is that you have to offer. So this is the great thing. Remember, I told you, you don't have to use any of these things. It's real easy to remove an element. It's also real easy to add an element. So in this situation, you see if I hover over here, there's a little plus sign and it says add a page. I can click on this and it says, do you want to add a new landing page or an existing landing page? It depends. I may have already created a sales page, but I'm going to say no. I want a new page, and it's a sales page. So it's going to give me some templates. Isn't that cool? Templates for a sales page. I'll choose Sierra and my sales page. Don't ever do it like that. If you watched my first video, I told you how I like to internally name pages, just so you know what they are, right? But this is just a demo. So now I've got the sales page in between. So I would go from presenting the offer on the video to send them to a sales page. Now, on the sales page, if I can click on it, now I can go straight into editing this one. I could make this button go directly to the offer checkout or wherever I made the offer on this page, in case they're ready. If they're ready, they're ready. You know, I've bought courses myself. Stu McLaren's, I didn't need to read his sales page. I was ready to buy. So you just want to make it easy for them. So you can have the call to action go directly to the checkout. Another thing that a lot of people do is Kajabi has a really great section called pricing card. And oops, don't do that, okay? Deanna just did a wrong thing. It's a section I want to add. That's what I want, not a block. I just added a block there. If I scroll down, offers and pricing, I've got pricing options. So I'm going to choose that one. That's not exactly what I wanted. I wanted the 3-part one. Maybe there isn't a 3-part one. Okay. Well, let's just say that this is our pricing option. Only because I can't stand it, I would not do it that way. I would do it where that was on top, right? And then you've got the pricing option, and then this button would definitely go to the checkout page. Now, you've probably seen more often there's multiple options. So it's $29 a month or $290 a year for an annual. So what you can do is duplicate this guy. See? And I would go in there and I would change this to $290 per year. And it wouldn't be basic, it would be annual. Just like that. So then you've got your 2 offers, a monthly subscription and an annual subscription. And then you can link these buttons to the offer that matches it. So over here on the right-hand side, it says buy now. You would tell this button to go to a checkout page and you would select the $29 a month offer. Do I have a 29? Yeah. Right there. And then this one, you would say go to a checkout and you would choose the offer for the annual pricing. Okay, so that was a lot, but I wanted you to see this again because there is a lot involved. As you get more experienced, and if you adhere to my recommendations about the naming convention, you might not need to use a pipeline. This is a situation where it's there's multiple steps. There's a lot of emails. So this is helpful to visualize the entire funnel right here and having all the elements created. Okay, I don't see any questions. So I think that was probably a good overview. I said I was going to cover forms. I really kind of covered forms. Well, let's make sure forms are clear. You know what? I did cover forms because I talked about the difference between double opt-in and single opt-in, the form fields that you can include, and the fact that the form controls all the automations. Over here, you can always send a notification to your team when a form is submitted. And if you're not using Kajabi's email and you would rather use Aweber, MailChimp, don't use MailChimp, ConvertKit, or ActiveCampaign, you can select that here. So like in my situation, I did have it connected to an ActiveCampaign account. And it walks you through the steps of how you're going to have somebody get added to that third-party email marketing system. So I think that kind of covers. I think that covers forms. Alrighty. I do want to extend the invitation at 1 p.m. this afternoon. You can join us for our second Q&A call of the week. You can watch it here in the group, or you can watch it on Zoom. And the link is, I'll make sure the link is posted again in the group. I sent it out in the email, but not everybody might have gotten the email. So we'll make sure that that Zoom link is posted for this afternoon at 1 p.m. Pacific. I hope you are enjoying Coaching Week. If you have any questions on pipelines, please put them in the comments. Let me know. More than likely, all of you are going to watch it on the replay. And let me know. I will hopefully see you later this afternoon on our Q&A call. Take care. Bye-bye.